Hello, today what I'm going to do for you is we're going to take an isometric drawing of an object that I have right here that I've created. And I had the isometric drawing here, and I'm going to convert it until an orthographic projection, which it will show me all the different sides from the front, the right side, and the top side. So I'll do three-sided view here. And so to start off, I have to determine what is my front. In this case, I will make this my front right here, this side. So it will be looking like this, and I'll draw it like that. And so this will be my right side. That will be my front. And obviously, that makes that my top. All right, so the first thing I need to do is go ahead and place, or just visually figure out how to draw the front of the object. If you notice down here in the lower right hand side, I have a scale of 1 to 2, which means 1 unit of block will be 2 units on the graph paper. This is the most common type of graph paper readily available. So I use this graph paper, although I have to give you a warning that it will distort the image because 2 blocks across, the hypotenuse across, is not the same as 2 blocks up on the side. Okay, so it will distort the image slightly, but it's very good for using measurements so that I can tell what the measurements are. In this case, this would be 1 block and 2 blocks, and I'll be able to tell that very easily by the drawing, counting the graph blocks. All right, so let's start off with the front. And I'll start off with the front in the lower left-hand side, like this. And then I'll do my top right up here, and I'll do my right side over here. Okay. When I do these, I always want to make sure that they stay on the same line. So I'm going to pick a point, and when I start off, I'm going to draw very light lines. I'm going to map it out using dots, and then I will connect the lines and darken them later. So to start off, I'm going to start off in the corner here. So I'll just start off with a little point here, and then as I'm drawing up, you see I will have a straight line going all the way up the side here for 3 blocks, 3 units, which according to my scale here would be 6 of blocks this direction. So I'll keep that there so you can see what I'm looking at here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because it's a 2-to-1 scale, I'm going up this left-hand side right here. All right, so I'll just use a pencil line to very lightly do that. This way I can, if I have to erase or I make a mistake or I'm drawing lines where it's unnecessary, I can easily erase it. I don't want to mark up my paper too much because then it'll be hard to read. So I have my, my left-hand wall here, and then of course I'm going to go across the top. 1 block equals 2 right here, so I'll make a dot right there, and then it goes down 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4 this direction here, and then over 1, 1, 2. So I will lightly draw in my lines so that I can see what I'm looking at here, and I'll just finish out my drawing. Now, of course, I do have a difference in levels here, so I will have to draw that. Everything that stays on the same plane as shown right here, everything that's on the same plane doesn't get the lines in between. It's only when the blocks step back that I put that line there, okay? Or when the blocks step back from here to here that I draw that line here, okay? So again, from my front view, I do have a drop off right there after 2 blocks. So I'll come down 1 block, and I'll draw that line right here, okay? And so that is my completed drawing for my front view. So I will label it front underneath, and now I can darken it in. I'll use my ruler when I darken it in. This way I have very concise, strong lines. I'll put my pencil at the mark on the line, and then I'll move my ruler up into the line there and parallel to the graph line. Okay, and then I'll darken it in. Once I'm sure that what I'm drawing here, then I can darken it in. I put my pencil down right there, make it parallel all the way across, and that's all my horizontal lines, or my vertical lines there. Now I'll go to my horizontal lines, and again, putting my pencil there, lining it up, making sure and my final one right here. So you should go ahead and do this along with me so that you can see. I missed a darkened line right there. Okay, so now I have my drawing of that view. Okay, that's the front view, and I have my right view, which would be like this. Now, as I stated before, we really want to make sure that it lines up so that every line that I draw here, if it's the same line on my block here, it continues out over in this direction. So I'll just skip a few lines. I'm going to skip, like let's say 4 lines here, and this is going to be the line where I draw my bottom right here. Okay, so I'll go, this is 2 blocks wide, so I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to double everything. All right, and then I'll go up 1, and again, it lines up right here, so I know exactly what I'm looking at. And this will help with the measurements as well. When I start to measure it and lay it out, it will actually help me, because if I label it on one block, I know that I can carry that measurement over to the other block because it rests on that same graph paper line. Okay, so I have this mapped out right here, so I can lightly draw that in. And that's that bottom part there. Okay, and then I'm going to go up another block here, and that corresponds with that one right there. And that goes here. And all of this is on the same plane. I'm going up 2, over 2, and down 4 right here. So all of that will be on the same plane. All right, so no lines back here to separate out the blocks. So right there, there it is. All I have to do now is just darken in my lines. And again, I'll start with my vertical lines, although it really doesn't matter. Just want to make sure that you're not darkening in lines you don't need. Okay, I just want to make it really nice and clean. So now I have my side view. As you can see, there is a drop off here, and there is a drop off demonstrated in my drawing as well. So I labeled the right view, as you see there. And now I'm going to go for my top view, so I'll take it back to my front view, as you see here. And then I will just transition it from here to my top view, like so. All right, so again, I'm going to follow the same lines. I'm going to skip the same amount of squares, going from my front to my top as I did from my front to my right. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll start this corner right here, right on that dot, and I'll start to draw. Okay, so I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, because I have 2 blocks going this direction, and I have 2 blocks going the other direction. Okay, so all of these blocks will line up with the lines below. They're resting on the same grid line. And basically it looks like a block from the top view. Okay. However, we have 3 different levels here. Okay, so I'm going to have to draw some lines to demonstrate that in my drawing. The first line, I'll start with the bottom level right here. Okay, so that's 2 blocks in right there. So from here to here, I need a level. And then the back one is higher, as you see over here. The back one is higher than the front one right there. So I'm going to go from here to here. And that's how the drawing ends up on the top. Again, marking them in with my ruler, lining up all my lines with the grid line. As you see here. All right, so now I darkened in all my sketched lines and I clean up right around the borders to make it super concise and clean. And obviously that would be my top, and I'm going to label it. Okay. When I'm creating this, I really have to show which side is the most complex too, because I don't want to leave out any information, so that when I transfer this drawing to someone else, if I were to give this drawing to someone else, they could reproduce this very easily using blocks in their own house or school. So you want to make sure that you choose the views, front, top, right, etc., to correspond with your shape.